Congratulations, you finally made it to 4 p.m. You know what that means. Happy hour. It's time to kick back, relax, and dive into the world of sports with the Young and Norvelle Show. Whether you're catching up on the latest scores, analyzing the big plays, or gearing up for tonight's games, we've got you covered. So grab a cold one, settle in, and let's talk sports. Here they are, Patrick Young and Terry Norvelle.
Massive news involving the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's right. Let me see if I can get my can't hear myself real good here. 1 2 1 2 1 2. All right, there we go. Oh, Benny boy. Benny hits a button and we hear ourselves. Hey, big news for Jaguar camp if you're and I'm being a little facetious, but the Jaguars have recently signed an offensive lineman in the free agent market. Kind of a backup, Fred Johnson. Gator Nation, you may remember Fred Johnson was a Gator offensive lineman. Big-bodied guy, and he was decent at Florida. This guy's bumped around in the NFL. He's got him a Super Bowl ring. We were talking, Ben and I were talking a moment ago about Fred Johnson, the newest offensive lineman for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Drafted in, what was it, Ben, if you can jump in? Drafted in 2019.
2019, yeah.
By the Steelers.
He was undrafted, actually.
Undrafted. Signed first with
the Steelers, and then he got cut to the Bengals.
Goes to the Bengals.
And then he got cut again.
Ah, shoot.
Buccaneers. Actually, I don't know if he got cut, but
well, Steelers, Bengals, Bucks.
Cut, and then cut the same year. Got signed to the Eagles. Was there for 2 years.
Hooks on with the Eagles and makes the team. Was a backup player.
Yeah.
Got a Super Bowl ring, right?
Played 2 years there. And
got a Super Bowl ring. He was a bit player. So the Jaguars have a offensive lineman. I don't think this is going to move the needle much. But so anyway, Fred Johnson, former Gator, signs with the Jaguars. Came into the league in 2019, I think you said, Ben. 14 starts since 2019. So this guy's not a frontline guy. He's a depth piece. But you got to have depth. So there you have it. Wanted to lead the show off with some riveting Jacksonville Jaguar news as, gosh darn, that offensive line. They better have hit on, who is it, McCarry and Hainsey? Is that the center, Hainsey? They better have hit on him. I think it was Hainsey, the guy they signed from Tampa Bay. They better hit on those guys. So anyway, we'll talk a little bit of Jacksonville Jaguars. What did they do at 5? Everybody wants to know that. And, you're starting to hear Travis Hunter. I would trade back. My one question, I think we have Patrick lined up, and then we're going to have Brent Beard in a second as well. Ben, I don't know if I brought this up on air or not. Travis Hunter, he made at Colorado in a couple of years, he made several splashy plays as a wide receiver. And he also made several splashy plays as a cornerback. But do you look at Travis Hunter and go, he is a great wide receiver, or he is a great cornerback? I bring that up because if you take a guy 5th overall, but first at whatever position you're drafting, doesn't he have to be great? Do you think Travis Hunter is great at anything, Ben?
I don't think he's definitely not a great wide receiver.
Yeah.
He's a better corner than he is a receiver for sure.
We will see.
I think he's definitely a pretty good
We will
corner.
see. And before we go to our guest here on the program, I'm a guy like Abdul Carter for the Jaguars intrigues me. See, the Jaguars at times, and I'm sometimes the hard ass, I hate to say it, but I like to think I'm more of a legitimate, honest guy, not the local fluffy Jaguar media here in town that everything's sugar and spice. A guy like Abdul Carter might be a player the Jaguars might need to hitch up with and take a flyer on. There's a chance, I think, Abdul Carter, because of his injury history, he might fall. He might fall a little bit. Not so sure if I'm the Jaguars. I don't trade back and hope that Carter is still sitting there at 7 or 8. What I would do, either I would trade out. I've made it understood. Go get me an offensive lineman in the trade, swap picks. Abdul Carter intrigues me in this situation, Ben. If the Jaguars get a hold of Abdul Carter, he's an edge, right? He's a rush end edge. I would move, and I've said this since he's been at Georgia, I think Trayvon Walker is an interior guy, a smaller inside tackle, interior tackle that could get across the line of scrimmage. That's what I would do. If I didn't trade back, I would hope that Abdul Carter falls in my lap. I would take him. There's my 2 ends. I'd move Walker in and say, hey, man, we got to take some flyers anyway. Anyway. Let's talk a lot of March Madness today. Brent Beard and I think Patrick will join us. He may be on. Gator March Madness. Got a lot of news and notes for the Gators as they are a couple days away from tipping things off. Dr. Aaron Bates will talk sports medicine with a couple of injuries. One of the injuries we're going to talk about, Ben, I'm injured. I got a bad wing. I got hurt the other day. I need Dr. Bates to walk me through it. We've got a follow-up sports story. Ben, and you were asking me questions I didn't have the answer to. Remember the other day, Ben, the moment of silence for the deceased soccer player that was not deceased?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I got to follow up on that.
Oh, no.
got a follow-up on that. And it probably wouldn't be a hump day edition early in baseball season, certainly early in college, quarter of the way through college baseball season. We got a guy that hit a triple in college baseball, and when he slid into third base, his celebration was mimicking snorting cocaine off of the third base bag. You can't do that, right? Isn't that written somewhere? You can't do that. If it's not, Ben, it should be written somewhere. I want to say hi to my buddy Stanley. Says, hello, Terry. Hey, that was very nice of you, Stanley. I'm glad you're watching and listening, and hope to see you soon. Haven't seen you in a while. Do we have, is it Patrick or Brent? I'm not sure.
Brent's here.
Oh, Brent Beard's hovering around here. Brent Beard, you sneaky devil. What are you doing? Brent Beard.
You got both of us.
I think we do. Do we have Patrick as well?
Yes, you do.
Now, can Ben get Patrick and Brent on, and me on the same screen? Oh, boy. Pressure. Oh, look at this threesome. Oh, look at these guys. Look at these guys. All right, guys, I'm going to lead things off. March Madness, number one, welcome. We got a busy week coming up. We're on the road a lot, including Friday for the Gator game at a new location. Beer and Barrel. We'll talk about Brew and Barrel. I'm sorry.
I think I can hear you better than Terry can.
I don't think Terry can hear me at all.
I hear you now, Patrick. You sound great.
Good.
You sound great, Patrick. Hey, Pat, I'll lead
up. I
up.
was talking to you at the beginning of the show. You have selective hearing.
No, it's
I was
Ben.
talking to you
Ben,
at the beginning of the show.
Ben, jump in and be a man here.
Yeah,
Ben.
it was
Ben,
definitely me.
Ben, say it again.
It was definitely, I had the wrong link copied.
I'm sorry, Ben. Say it one more time.
It was the wrong link.
Okay.
It was my bad.
So
my
it
bad.
wasn't Terry's fault.
Nope, definitely not.
I'm sorry, I lost you again. Was it not my fault?
It was not your fault.
Okay, here we go. There we go, Patrick.
Okay.
There we go. All right, guys, I want to lead off
Good.
March Madness. I'm going to ask both of you guys. I've got my answer. Last night, the Carolina Tar Heels won a game. And I would imagine that Bubba Cunningham and Carolina Nation's thumping their chest a little bit. Did Carolina really do anything last night? I want your answers before I give you my thoughts. Patrick, did Carolina really say, hey, in your face? Did they do anything, or did they just win basically a bad regular season game?
Yeah, I think they just won a bad regular season game. Like, they blew them out, and
yeah.
Carolina's resume is what it is. They haven't beaten enough good teams to really have a solid argument. But hey, if they go on and they beat Ole Miss,
yeah.
But I don't think there's any
No.
expectation that they would.
No.
But I think if North Carolina doesn't make the tournament or they lose that game, I think Hubert Davis is packing his bags.
I'm with you. Brent, your thoughts on that? I don't want to take it away from Carolina, but North Carolina last night beat a team much like North Carolina that's not a March Madness team anyway. Right. They're a play-in team. That was nothing more than a bad regular season game in mid-February, if you ask me. What are your thoughts? Did Carolina do anything last night?
No. Just because you win a game in the NCAA tournament doesn't mean you're supposed to be in the NCAA tournament. And the other situation last night was, Alabama State won with about 1 second left. So congratulations to them. North Carolina won. So riddle me this: why is Alabama State playing on Thursday, North Carolina playing on Friday, when they both played last night?
Yeah, it's tough. You're shortchanging them a day, aren't you?
If you played on Tuesday,
yeah.
Help me on this, Patrick. If you played on Tuesday, shouldn't you play
On
on
Friday, no earlier.
Friday.
Yeah, that's tough, man. You see where he's going with that, Pat?
Probably they just have the mindset of like those teams have
Yeah.
the less amount of chance to win the game, so they don't really care
Well,
too much.
Well, Ben can jump in here as well. It's funny talking about days in between Brent Beard and Patrick Young. I want y'all to hear what we talk. Ben and I were talking about before the show, and I said, Ben, I don't think this is set in stone, but Florida plays in Raleigh. Okay, they are in the Friday Sunday Raleigh bracket, right? They play Friday. If they win, they'll play Sunday in Raleigh. If Florida wins on Sunday, I don't think it's already set, but I think it's understood. Florida goes to San Francisco. The NCAA would never give them a Thursday game. That would eat up a full day to try to get you've almost got to give Florida and the Raleigh people that would move on to San Fran, you've got to give them another Friday, Sunday, I think, right? Because Florida would probably need to head out to San Francisco not one day, maybe even 2 days ahead for that trip, Pat. What are your thoughts on that?
What do you think? Travel? I wish I could remember what we did travel wise.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were there early enough to.
But I mean, Florida is going
and to have plenty of time to get acclimated.
Yeah, but Florida would be going literally coast to coast. You can't.
Coast, yeah.
I don't think you could ask Florida or anybody else in the Raleigh region to win your second game Sunday, and then say, oh, by the way, you've got to be in San Francisco tipping off on Thursday. Why not give them Friday? I would imagine Florida, if they win 2 games this weekend, they would be, and I don't think it's set anywhere, but they've got to give those guys a second Friday, Sunday, I think.
I don't see why wouldn't it be Friday, Sunday again?
You would think, right? I think that's where it has to. Now, let me get back to, I don't want to be a Carolina basher. If Carolina goes out and beats Ole Miss, well then, okay, I will say, hey, I tip my hat, and I think a lot of people would have to say, okay, maybe it was a fluke that they were 1-12 versus, right? If they beat Ole Miss, what is that, that'll be a 6 seed, right? Ole Miss, yeah. That would be a 11 beating a 6 after playing a game. Do y'all agree with that? If Carolina beats Ole Miss, then they deserve to be in the tournament.
Well, yeah, I think, and especially if they lose, as long as if they're in the game and it's competitive,
yeah,
I think there's still an argument there. But
yeah,
I don't think unless RJ Davis is playing like a man possessed, I don't really foresee UNC making a kind of run like UCLA did a few years back. Yeah, definitely. Guys, I don't know. Go ahead, Brent.
Well, and the problem is Ole Miss lost 4 of their last 6. So I mean, they didn't end things real well.
Yeah.
Sean Padilla, who hit that winning shot, also they'll have to go guard him closely. But I'll say this: Ole Miss is very capable of really D'ing up North Carolina with Chris Beard.
Yeah.
Did you guys? Jay Billis say this, and I think it's so right. I think Ole Miss is good at a lot of things. They're not great at anything.
Mm-hmm.
I'll agree with that.
They're good at a lot of things.
That's
just
well
not great.
said.
They're not a great rebounding team. They're great. They're really good at. They don't turn the ball over much.
Yeah,
that's probably one of their biggest perks that keeps them in games. And then, like, they have 4 guys that could really be stars, but it seems like none of them except Padula.
Yeah,
he's one and done there.
Yeah. And Dia can be a little bit of a matchup problem. He's a big, thick, muscular guy, but he can step out to 22 feet and hit it. He can be a matchup problem. The big guy for
he took a shot early in the I think the Arkansas game, and Chris Beard was pissed. Like, you can read his lips. Don't you take that freaking shot? And he didn't say freaking blah 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 blah. Man.
All right, boys. I've got my final 4 picked out. We won't be bad TV and radio here by going. I hate shows that go through all 64 picks. I think that is the laziest sports show in the world. Hey everybody, we're gonna hold you hostage for 2.5 hours. Me and Billy and Steve and Joe, we're gonna give you every pick. I think that's terrible, by the way. I'm gonna give you my final 4. I don't know if you guys have yours. Would love to hear it. I have. I hope I'm wrong because I'm an SEC guy. I just don't think Auburn has the edge to go all the way through the South. I've got Michigan State representing the South. I've got Florida representing the West on the left side of the bracket. So I've got Florida and Michigan State playing in the Final Four. I've got Duke fighting their way through the East. And I think Tennessee has found a second breath of fresh air. I think Tennessee will match up with a hell of a game against a Houston team that is just like Tennessee. I've got Duke and Tennessee on the right side. I've got Michigan State and Florida on the left side. I've got Duke getting by Tennessee, Florida getting by Michigan State, and I've got the Gators winning the whole damn thing. I think Florida's the best team in the country, and especially on a neutral court. Brent Beard, what say you? And then Patrick Young, double, what say you?
Well, I've said you and I are twins, and that's my Final Four too.
Really?
Yeah.
And you and I haven't talked about this at all, I promise.
No, we haven't. I've got Michigan State, Duke, Florida, Tennessee, with Florida winning the whole thing. Your point about Auburn is a good one. Auburn's lost 3 out of 4, and they've been out rebounded in the last 4 games. I think they'll be fine. They'll rebound. But I'm with you. I think Michigan State, that's a team Auburn doesn't want to play, by the way, at all. And let me throw this in here real quick as we go to Patrick.
Okay.
The SEC's favorite former basketball coach, Will Wade, is going to North Carolina State.
Well, word was he was going to get a job. Word was he did nice. He say what you want. He did great things in a couple years at McNeese State. But
it's a great ball coach, man.
He's a pretty good coach, isn't he? And you know, I know a lot of people. And Pat, we want to get your final. Pat, go ahead and do your Final Four. Go ahead. Do you have yours picked out yet?
I didn't really have one. But
okay, give us your thought. Okay, so you got Florida.
I'm looking forward to the. I wish St. John's was in a different bracket, but I do like Walter Clayton going up against his old coach. That's going to be a hell of a game.
Yeah.
St. John's is a really good team. I mean, I'm kind of after last year's Auburn team, just getting knocked out in the first round by Yale, and Chad Baker-Mazara still being the Chad Baker-Mazara he was of last year.
Right.
Makes me definitely put a star and asterisk by their name.
Sure.
So I definitely would go with Michigan State. I think I'm more inclined to go to Houston.
Okay.
Because because they have their track record this year so much. Tennessee and Houston is going to be a rock fight. It's going to
man. They are. They're a lot of the same. I think they're the same team, man.
Yeah,
they're absolutely.
Yeah.
Ooh, that would be a hell of a game. But you've got
surprise for 50.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Hey, Brent
Is there
Beard.
nobody that you see on Duke's side that could shake them up? Who's the 2 seed over there?
Alabama. I've got them meeting Alabama in a hellacious Elite Eight game. Yeah, Alabama.
If Grant Nelson's not healthy, then I just don't see, because they really do need him to be like the glue guy, X Factor
really do.
guy.
Yeah, he'll miss Friday, by the way. He may be back Sunday, or they may just rest him until next weekend. But I mean, Bama's got either Vanderbilt or St. Mary's, and you can't sleep on that one either.
No, I tell you one thing. If this was to chalk out 1 versus 2 in the East, and it was Duke versus Alabama to get to the Final Four, I'm pulling like Alabama, like a son of a gun for Alabama. I think Duke would win. Duke would either win, or there would be some Bubba Cunningham or the head of the Duke president would come on the court and do some kind of United States versus Russian basketball game in 1972, right? and somehow Duke's going to get to the Final Four, right? Duke gets it all. They're going to get to the Final Four. All right, while we still have everybody on, Patrick Young, I've got to call you to the carpet a little bit, okay? On just one thing. You ready? Pat, I'm going to call you to the carpet. All right, I'm going to call you to the carpet. Brent Beard, I want you to you're kind of the neutral guy here.
Okay.
Ben, you could jump into. All right, Patrick Young. As you know, and you've talked about it on the show a couple days in a row, I think, Florida has played Norfolk State in a NCAA March Madness game, Patrick. You remember that. They played one time, and you were on the court. Gators with a big win. I looked back at some of the numbers. You guys went on a 25-0 run and kind of put the game away.
Wow.
Right? You remember that, Pat?
Yep.
25-0. So the Gators have played Norfolk State once, and they won. Patrick Young, are you ready for this, my man?
What were my stats? They weren't good that night.
You shut your filthy mouth.
Everybody else was scoring. I remember that game. I was like, damn, Mike. I think the lead scorer was either Brad Beal or Mike Rosario, one of the two.
You had a good game. See, you're guilty, is what you are. Brent. That's a guilty man jumping in there.
Yeah.
You had say guilty. I say I wanted the ball. I wanted to score more.
You had a good. Hey, you had a good game. You had a good game. My man Patrick Young in this tournament game back in what was that 12? Yeah, I think 12. Yeah, that was.
Yes, that was 12.
So you were a sophomore there. Okay. All right, so you're just starting to feel your oats and become a big star. Brent Beard, Patrick Young, Norfolk State, big win. 2 of 3 from the field. Pat, that's great. See, don't bury yourself. That's great. You were 2 of 3 from the field, 2 of 4 from the free throw line, but we know you can't shoot free throws. We know that, Pat, right? So 2 of 3 from the field, 2 of 4 from the free throw line, 4 rebounds. Okay. Pat, my issue is you had 0 fouls. Now, that tells me you weren't playing hard, Pat. I don't think you were playing hard.
That's funny.
Pat, you're 6'10", 290 pounds of muscle. How do you not get a foul? Pat, were you playing hard or were you dogging it? Pat, be honest with us.
Now those details, that's getting too far in the nitty-gritty of me because I did play in a lot of tournament games.
Whoa, nice comeback. You hear that, Brett? Well, I played in a bunch.
Yeah, I knew I didn't have 10 points in that game. I didn't remember what.
6.
But it's like we dominated them. So
it looked like, and Pat, it looked like you were a starter.
We turned them over a lot in that game. I remember oh gosh, I hate this drive-through. We turned them over a lot, so that helps. Usually on fast breaks, big guys are not the ones who reciprocate and score the basket. On fast break train. No, not always. But
Hold on now. Hold on. Why do I see Condon and Houck and those guys running up and down the court, Pat? Brent, I'm giving him hell.
I'm always trying to get the rebound.
Nice. Pat, I want more. Those 0 fouls it stood out to me. I said, did Pat dog it? Did he not play hard? I need a foul out of that big body of yours, Patrick Young. Go foul somebody, Pat.
Yeah, I wish I could remember. I just remember. You remember who Norfolk State beat before that?
No, I don't. Who did they?
Missouri.
Oh my! What an upset! Whoa!
They beat Missouri 15 seed Norfolk State.
Yeah.
Beat 2 seed, and that was Missouri's best team they've had up to this point in a long time.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, I was going to say that must have been one of those 15-2, not a 16-1, but 15-2. Oh my goodness, Patrick Young. Hey, Pat, I know this is hard, man. I can't. I'm much older than you. I can't remember all my. Do you remember you were 2 of 4 from the field? Do you remember the shots? Were they dunks? Were they hooked little baby hooks?
Now that I definitely don't remember.
No, baby hooks.
No.
Were the parents?
Sure there had to be a hook. There had to be a hook shot in there somewhere.
Were the parents at the game? I think you said your parents went to most of all your playoff March Madness games. Probably were, weren't they?
I don't remember. Probably. I don't remember where it was.
Yeah.
But I'm certain. Yeah, they were.
Hey, that team and that team, Pat and Brent, that was not your Final Four team, but that was a good. I looked at these. Mike Rosario was a good player.
Elite Eight team that lost to Louisville.
Lost to Louisville and Rick Pitino. Right?
I bet you that was Norm Stewart coaching Missouri at that point. Would that be an accurate
probably
guess?
No, it was Frank Haith.
Okay.
Oh, Frank Haith came in. And didn't Haith spend some time at Miami, either before or after?
Yeah.
He was at Miami before. He's now an assistant coach at Texas.
Yeah. Oh, really? Frank Haith is at Texas. Did you guys see where Indiana, and I don't want to bury the guy, but they hired the guy from West Virginia, was it? Yeah. Indiana. And I know you can find a smaller program that's not huge in basketball. Florida did it with Todd Golden, but man, you're Indiana. this guy may work out, but you're Indiana and you go get I wouldn't know this guy. Go ahead.
They make a mistake hiring these like older NBA coaches.
Maybe.
I just don't know how much Mike Woodson is going to compare a Mike Woodson to like a Todd Golden. Like even they hired the guy Stoudemire over at Georgia Tech, and he's had some success there at the program. But it's just very different. It's just I didn't expect.
I'm with you. I was
Mike Woodson to have great success there.
Our friend Reese Davis tweeted out yesterday that was a really good hire.
West Virginia.
Good. Yeah, for Indiana. Well, let me just say this. It will certainly beat Tom Crean. Okay.
Oh my God, Tom Crean! I don't know what he has on people. That run where Tom Crean couldn't get out of the way of a job. He was at Marquette, and he had a great player by the name of Dwayne Wade. He didn't know what he was doing. Yeah. He goes to Indiana, and they had good records, but they weren't Indiana. Goes Georgia.
Yes.
Tom Crean is where he needs to be. He's in a TV studio. Hey, I'm not so sure how long everybody can stay on. So, Pat, I want to keep you on for another second, and Brent as well. But, Pat, can you comment? I was looking at Florida's draw, and if you think about the history of Gator basketball, there's probably two programs from a revenge tour standpoint that Florida would like to get a hold of. And they've got a chance. They've got a chance early in this tournament, relatively early. Florida would probably love to get a hold of UConn. Wouldn't you agree with that, Patrick?
Right.
Right. And Florida, if the Gators win and UConn wins, they get UConn game 2. They would love to exact some revenge on that Patrick Young team that you guys were better than them. I'll go to my grave. You guys were the best team in the country that year. I also think the only other team that Florida would love to get a revenge tour on is Michigan State from the 2000 year when State beat them in the final game. And you guys realize Florida could exact revenge on those two and head to the Final Four. Pat, would you agree? Florida has beaten Duke before.
It'll be majorly capped off if they beat Duke at the end, too.
Yeah, and that'd be good. But, Duke knocked Florida out of a Final Four, and Florida knocked Duke out of an Elite Eight. So they've kind of got a little bit of payback on Duke. But you're right. If Florida could draw up their perfect revenge tour, it would be knock off UConn, those bastards who beat you guys twice that year, right, in a great regular season game.
Yeah.
Great. That was a great game. Wasn't it a buzzer beater at the end, I think?
Buzzer beater at the end.
Yeah.
A long rebound that went right back to the shooter.
Yeah. So UConn beat Florida and Pat's team that year in 2 great games twice. Love to get revenge on them. Michigan State beat them in the championship game, the Mateen Cleaves team and all, and Florida was good, man. Mike Miller, Dupay and those guys. And then just beating Duke would be great. Pat, before we end this segment, I'm just curious for Terry Norvelle, that regular season game, and I know I always tell you to get back in your memory bank, and it's hard. That regular season game at UConn early in the year that year, great game, final shot. Was Storrs? Was that a good home crowd, or is that a good home crowd?
Yeah, it was a really good home crowd. Absolutely.
So it
was a great environment. Their student section is behind your basket, so and they're by your bench, so they really impact the game. Oh, you can take your seat.
Nice.
I would say that they definitely, I mean, it's underrated how good their facility is. They do a great job.
Yeah.
That's all they got. The football is never going to do great up there in UConn because
probably not
the weather, but
probably not.
Yeah.
I'm always
should always be great.
I'm always amazed at how UConn basketball gets overlooked. I've got the sheet. See if I can get this in. Here's the sheet. Most college basketball national titles. UCLA is number 1. They've won 11 titles. Number 2 is Kentucky with 8. Number 3 is a tie. And one of the teams gets no publicity. I don't know why. North Carolina is tied for 3rd all time, 6 titles. You know who they're tied with? Not Duke, not Indiana,
UConn.
Not Kansas, not Louisville. UConn has 6 titles. And when you talk about the blue bloods of college, nobody throws UConn in there. I don't know why.
Not
Nobody.
as much as it should be.
Nobody knows why. They're just not sexy, right?
They got in trouble one year. Kevin Ollie.
Kevin Ollie. I think that was your year. That was your year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember what he got in trouble for.
But I always do this. I think just recruiting and just it was a mess. I always do this, guys. And Brent, I'll let you lead off. Let's transpose this list with UConn being tied for third most national titles. Let's transpose that and call that football national championships. Could you imagine if you are tied for third most college football national championships? That program would be talked as whoever that would be incredibly talked. UConn is anonymous with 6 titles, guys. I just don't Brent, I never can understand this. They're they're not sexy.
Yeah, that's amazing with the talent I've got there. And look, the UConn women.
Small market.
Small market,
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, good point. And UConn women obviously are almost unparalleled themselves. It will be interesting if Hurley is able to behave himself. If he
Can you guys believe that the Lakers were thinking about hiring that?
How about
guy?
that?
Yes,
How about
they
that?
were.
Oh man.
Hey, if they hired Hurley, 2 hours into his job, LeBron would have kicked his butt around the facility.
Oh my God.
Wouldn't he? I might be able to.
No, NBA players aren't playing that. Like somebody would fight him.
I might be able to answer my own question, though, about why UConn basketball has historically never. I mean, they've got 6 national titles.
Well, dude, not only that, Terry, and I'll let you finish your point, but
go ahead.
How many NBA players they've had over the years? They've had a great number of NBA players.
Yeah, definitely. I wonder, some of the teams that we talked about, Kentucky with their 8 titles, they are in college football country. North Carolina with their titles, North Carolina's in college sports country, right? Duke right there, college sports country. You look, UConn, their geographic location, the Northeast
right,
is not college sports country. Northeast is the pros. I think it would almost be like if Boston College basketball had 6 national titles, they would still get swallowed up because Boston is Northeast pro sports. Maybe they just don't take it that serious, college athletics in that area, I think.
I'll say this, guys, when the Big East got 11 teams in the NCAA tournament, and that was the original mark that the SEC broke. I mean, that Big East region was as acclaimed as anybody around.
Yeah.
That was Georgetown and Ewing and a lot of that crew, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, but to Terry's point, I guess it's kind of what have you done for me lately, and it's transferred from that, and Pat have a lot of those kids from Philadelphia and that Virginia DC area. Have they moved on to the SEC or
maybe?
Or
I don't know.
Maybe. I'll tell you another thing. The guy that got it all started for UConn, Jim Calhoun, he was not going to win the room. You know, Rick Pitino wins the room. John Calipari with 1 title wins the room, right? Dean Smith walked into a room and there was an aura about, right? It was Dean Smith. Calhoun, I'm not saying it's wrong. He wasn't a win the room guy. Maybe that helped keep. You didn't think, let's get a couple of guys. It's college basketball season. Let's get a couple of star coaches. I don't think you immediately thought of Jim Calhoun.
No, you didn't.
You thought of the sexy other guys. All right, guys.
In all honesty, I don't know if you guys will remember this, but I remember from my freshman year when Jim Calhoun won his last championship with Kemba Walker. I think they played Butler. It was the worst pregame speech.
Was it? Was it really?
The most uninspired. Yes, I'm sure we can find it. If we go on the break, I'll try to find it and send it over. It is the most uninspiring
Ben, pay attention.
Championship. I think it had a really low viewership. Like UConn was not on the map that year.
Yeah.
Up until they paved their way to prove that they are, and then Butler was an underdog. as well. But I mean, it's pretty incredible that obviously he knew how to get his guys inspired the right way at the right time.
Yeah.
So, we can't say anything about his success, but like on the outside looking in, we've all had listened to coaches pregame, postgame speech, and you're like, damn, I would run through a wall for that.
Yes.
Coach.
Yes.
I heard that and I was like, damn, I'll take a nap for that coach.
A nap. He said a nap. Pat, I always do this to you, and it's so unfair. But I'm
take a nap.
I'm going to do it again. This is so unfair because it was a negative part of your life, but you may have used it as a memory. I don't know, a positive memory. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to do this, but
let me see if I can find it.
Go back to the Final Four, and you guys lose to UConn. You guys were the best team in the country. How tough was it to go back into that locker room and then go face the media and get on that bus and then go get on a plane knowing it was over? How tough was that?
Oh man, it was pretty tough. I just remember like the reality set in. Like tears didn't hit for me until we got back into the locker room and just
right.
Like, man, it's over. It really is. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of it was tough. All of it. When we got to the hotel, Coach Donovan had the tears and our families come up, and he's just like, man, my only regret is that you guys didn't get a chance for it all because you had a tremendous year.
Yeah. Yeah. And Brent, you certainly remember that year. Patrick doesn't say it as much as I do. And if I didn't know Patrick Young in my life, I would still say it.
Found it.
That year, Florida was the best team in the country. I mean, they had a 30-game win, 36-3 or whatever, 30-game winning streak. And, it goes back to what I say a lot. It's hard to win a championship. It's freaking hard to win 6 games in a row in this tournament. Hard.
It is. Yeah, I agree with that. I'm curious for the days leading up to the opening of the tournament. Pat, is it and if we need to go on the other side of the break, we can do this, Pat, but I'm just curious, how difficult is that? How difficult is this week for teams? How much do you get to practice? How much do you get?
I think it's the most difficulty is for the assistant coaches right now.
Really?
In their scouting.
Yeah.
I think because they're going to have guys preparing for this scout, and then you don't wait to see if you win to start preparing for the next one. Like these guys are already.
Yeah, that's Pat. That's a great point. That is a great point. Regular season. If Florida plays Kentucky Saturday, Todd Golden has already picked out the assistant coach that has that scout. Well, you're playing Ole Miss on the following Tuesday, so the other assistant coach that gets that scout, he's ahead of the game. It's hard to get ahead of the game here, and you only got a day in between.
These guys, they got their scout is going to involve both teams.
Yeah.
In terms of like their preparation, obviously they're only going to present one team, but it's going to involve both teams in their process. They know for sure. It's got to. That's the way you got to do it.
Interesting. All right, Pat.
Yeah.
I've got what you sent me, Pat. I'm gonna get it to Ben. What did you send me? What did you send me?
I love the game enough. Oh, that's the Jim Calhoun speech. If you want to, when we go on break, if you want to check it out.
Yeah, I'll try and get it to Ben.
And then we play it on air so people can like. I am not being biased. I promise. And I would tell you if I was being biased. And you see, it's only 50 something seconds.
Yeah.
So. It's the most uninspiring championship speech. Like, goodness gracious.
That's why
it's similar to the level of, remember when Russell Wilson going to the Broncos and there's a whole thing they made fun of him, his let's ride.
Yes.
Kind of thing. It's similar because there was no enthusiasm, there's no excitement. It's just like was it as inspiring as Duval? Was it that inspiring? Duval. Yeah. My best friends, because we have a group text,
right?
Immediately they said, "Oh shoot, you got to fire everybody! Fire everybody right now! This is
totally
not gonna work."
Totally agree. All right, hang tight. We'll try and get that queued up. Brent Beard, Patrick Young. Hopefully you guys can both stay on. If you got to go, I understand. But we'd like to have I've got a lot of news and notes about Florida and Todd Golden I want to get to, and I'd love to share it with you guys on the other side. The Young and Norvelle Show continues on Action Sports Jax.
For those dealing with pain from a sports injury, arthritis, or spine condition, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists offers innovative new non-surgical options. Our regenerative medicine treatments, including platelet-rich plasma and other regenerative treatments, use your body's own restorative cells to aid in treating injuries. These procedures are performed in our offices and typically require minimal downtime. If you want to get back to doing what you love, our regenerative treatment options may be right for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. BREW Jags Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at BREW Jags Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at BREW Jags Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dynamic Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jax to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jax in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jax 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry. We still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jax 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
It's a new logo, new branding. With Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville.
It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bold City Heating and Air.
It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who is coming to your house. You know they will be well trained, and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at boldcityac.com.
Stay cool while it gets hot. Bold City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. boldcityac.com, and they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs.
Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at boldcityac.com. Homegrown in your hometown.
All right, so we're back here, the Young and Norvelle Show. Brent Beard, Patrick Young. I'm Terry Norvelle. Glad you're with us. Patrick, we've got it. We're going to try and play this Jim Calhoun pep talk. I could hear a little bit of it. He kept saying a couple things like, well, I think we're the best team. How do you say I think we're going to win tonight? I think we're the best team, Patrick. Oh, my goodness. Jim Calhoun. All right.
You feel me, right? You feel
yeah,
me, right?
I could hear a little bit of it. We're going to play it. Hopefully the audio's loud enough. And we will not be able to hear it, I don't think, but the listeners and viewers will. Go ahead, Ben.
Well, I'm still adding it. It's about to be like 2 seconds.
Okay, we're about to buffer it in there, and we'll play about 20, 30 seconds of it. But then again, Jim Calhoun was never a song and dance guy.
That's enough. That's enough. That's all you need. 20, 30 seconds is enough.
All right, Ben, let us know. We're getting close. Ben's going to dial it up here where I want to get to some Florida basketball news and notes, March Madness, and also –
in the theme of this, in the theme of this, Terry, I mean,
Right.
how important do we think it is for coaches now in the tournament to have a good, inspiring pregame speech?
Yeah, the
Do we
old
think
fire.
that, like, how much does that factor, you think, into performance?
Yeah, the fire and brimstone stuff. Definitely. Pat, do you know your schedule yet with all these SEC teams, with the network, or how's that working?
So it's kind of nice. I just got exactly what it is. I'll fly in Saturday afternoon.
Oh, nice.
What's crazy is I might be able to actually make the Florida game Sunday in Raleigh. I definitely would do that. And then they have me working Saturday and Sunday, so I could fly up there late. We don't record anything until after all the games are played.
Oh, nice. That worked out good for you.
I think our show doesn't air until 1 a.m., which is nuts. I don't have to actually record it at 1 a.m.
No. But
pretty miserable.
You'll fly this Saturday to Charlotte for SEC Network duties. That's nice. You get to watch the Gator game, and then you'll be in Charlotte, and Raleigh's not that far, right? I mean, it can't be that far.
I think it's an hour and a half.
Oh man, Pat, that's perfect.
It's worth it. I mean, if I get a chance to go and watch Florida beat UConn in a tournament game, knock them out, and Dan Hurley's flicking off our fans or whatever, oh my gosh.
Hey, you know my prediction. I've already made the prediction, and guys, I've made this prediction. I think UConn's going to beat Oklahoma. Florida's going to play UConn. Florida's going to beat UConn physically, beat them up so bad. I think Dan Hurley will get kicked out of the game about 8 minutes left in the second half. Once Florida's just pummeling them, he'll lose it and he'll get kicked out. That's my prediction, Patrick. He's getting kicked out.
That's not a bad one.
It's getting kicked out. All right, Ben, play about 20 seconds.
I think he should have far more ejections and technical fouls than whatever he has.
I agree. Play this, Ben, real quick. This is Jim Calhoun. Doesn't look very inspiring either.
The key right now is do we want to put something really, really special up there?
And we can't hear it, but hopefully the viewers can, guys. Everybody.
This is the moment.
Look at Jim Calhoun inspiring his team.
I feel great.
Oh, boy.
We're the better team. I think they're really good.
Oh, boy. All right, Benny. That's good enough. Now, Pat, that was before the national championship game?
Yes, man.
Man, oh man.
Right before. Man.
Man.
And it's one of those things where they showed the speed. They show this, when they show it before the game, and they show it also on Sports Center as they're doing the highlights of the championship, and you're just like, ew.
Yeah. All right, guys.
I think a legitimate question here is, Patrick, in a situation like that, A, are the players really even listening? And B, if they are, what does that, even when Coach Donovan was doing that, how much do you take in and how does it affect you? I'm curious about that.
I think Jay Bullet Billis, how
and Pat, we're losing you a little bit. Let me let you move around a little bit. We lost Pat a little bit. I would also add in there, and Pat would probably address this if we had a better connection. That's probably motivational speech number 25 you've heard from that coach this year, that season. So, guys, I want to get into some Gator March Madness news and notes. Number one, Ian Eagle, Bill Raftery, Grant Hill, and Tracy Wolfson will be on the call. If Florida makes it out to San Francisco, I think the Gators will have a nice crowd out there, and people have talked about different. Number one, there's a big San Francisco Bay Area Gator Club. About 900 people are in that club. Don't forget, Todd Golden spent 3 years coaching the University of San Francisco.
He did, yes.
Todd, that's got to be worth 500 friends and family that would just go to the game and cheer for him. I think Florida. Todd Golden played his college basketball in California, and we'll let Patrick go. We appreciate Pat. He had a bad sell. Brent, he played in California. He coached San Francisco. There's a huge Gator club in San Francisco. I think Florida will be well represented out in San Fran if they make it out there.
They very well could. Terry, didn't Wilt Chamberlain come from San Francisco?
Close. Bill Russell, the two biggest basketball players out of San Francisco, University of San Francisco, has a great heritage of basketball. Bill Russell, Bill Cartwright are probably the two best players. The University of San Francisco, and they won back-to-back national titles with Bill Russell, 55, 56. They were dominant in the late 50s, 60s, and early 70s. The only team that kept them from winning more titles, they ran into the John Wooden UCLA buzzsaw, and they knocked them out all the time because you played very regional games way back then.
Yes.
But that is when I looked that up this morning, that's a testament. There's a little more to going and getting Todd Golden than just throwing a dart on the board if you were Strickland. If San Francisco hired him, and they did as a young guy, they have great basketball heritage. Go look them up one day. University of San Francisco Dons have great heritage, really great heritage. Florida will go into this tournament as a number one seed for the third time, Brent. They were number one seed in 07 and 14 with Patrick. This will be the 40th 30-win season for the Gators. How about this stat this year? Florida this year in top 10 versus top 10 matchups, the Gators are 5-2. That's impressive, man.
Sure it is.
Wow.
That is impressive. I think we got Patrick back. Pat, Brent was talking about when you're a player listening to one of those speeches. I would imagine one thing that factors in, you've probably heard 25 of those speeches all year. You probably tend to block it out, don't you, a little bit?
Maybe a little bit, but not like, I don't think like crazy.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know. No, you make a good point. Like, I think it's more so if the coach is not consistent with how they do it. Like, if Jim Calhoun, who's not a rah-rah guy, comes in and does all that screaming and yelling like Bruce Pearl does. Because Bruce Pearl, he does it every game. Like, he's yelling, screaming, getting his guys hyped up. Then you're like, man, this is weird. Like, why? That's not him, you know? And, you know, I think it really starts from the leadership of being consistent with how you coach your guys and how you show up and the energy you bring. So what should never happen is like what UCLA's coach Mike Cronin had to do, talking about how he comes to practice every day like he's got the most energy. Guys don't want to be coachable, et cetera, et cetera. I honestly don't have a problem with what he did. I know a lot of people do, right? But like, shoot, he's probably tried multiple. Like, that's a coach that's tried so hard to try to get his guys to get it.
Yeah,
what it takes to win. And then I think no coach wants to throw his guys under the bus in the media. But shoot, at that point, you know, he's coached successful teams. It's like I don't know what to do with these guys.
Yeah,
they think they're the Lakers.
God, I thought, didn't you guys think 2-3 years ago when UCLA they had two runs. They went deep. They had two runs with Little Tiger, the point guard, and I thought
as an 11 seed.
Yeah, and they nearly won it all one year, and they had a deep run. I thought at that point, I go, man, Mick
Cronin. They lost. Do you remember how they lost the year that they were 11 seed in the Final Four?
No.
Jalen Suggs hit a half-court shot.
Oh my God, I remember that now. Yes, Gonzaga. But didn't you guys think? I was like, man, UCLA's finally found the right guy. They're going to be a West Coast problem. But it never came to fruition. Todd Golden, by the way, doing some Gator news and notes here. Todd Golden, 0-2 in the tournament. He was 0-1 at San Fran. He's 0-1 at Florida. 0-1 in the NIT. So Golden hasn't won a legitimate postseason game yet. I know he's young in his career. Just wanted to throw that out. How about this? The Gators all-time in March Madness. And this blows me away because Florida did not make their first NCAA tournament until 1987. It wasn't like the Gators were going to the tournament, and the rules were different for a while. But the Gators haven't been going to the March Madness for 100 years. The Gators now 45-20 overall. Florida, 5 Final Fours, 3 national championship games. Of course, they've won 2. Guys, I'm going to throw this out. Any idea the last time Florida played a basketball game in Raleigh, what happened? In Raleigh-Durham. The last time. Anybody?
No idea.
How about January 3rd, 2010, regular season game, right before conference play started in 2010. Florida goes up and plays NC State in a kind of a neutral game.
I do remember that now.
What happened, Pat? Do you remember?
Chandler Parsons full court shot.
75-foot overtime basket to win the game. And I think
they played awful the whole game.
Yes, they did. They did. I think Florida had like back-to-back like heave baskets that just were in that season. They had another one like right after it, half quarter. Florida all-time first-round games in the NCAA tournament, 16-6. So they've lost 6 times, but 16-6. And how about this? And this should hold. The Gators all-time in March Madness as a number 1 seed, 10-1. And you should be 10-1, right? And I hate to say it, Pat, but I think the 1 was your loss. Yeah, sorry.
That's us, man.
Yeah, because y'all were number 1, right?
Yeah, we were a 2 seed my freshman year. I don't remember what we were my sophomore year.
Right.
Like maybe a 3 or 4 junior year. We were up there my junior year too. We were like a 2 seed my junior year, and then overall 1 seed my last year for sure.
Go ahead.
Terry, I got a question, both of them, before we lose this hour. And I mean, I'll give my opinion on this real quick too. 14 SEC teams. How many of them go to the Sweet 16? I'm going to say 8 or 9.
Really? That's a big number,
8 or 9.
Woo, that's a big number, Brent.
Yeah, I would have said. I'm going to say 6.
Yeah, I'll say 5-ish, 5 or 6. I would love 8 or 9 to go to the Sweet 16. Oh, that would be something.
Oklahoma, God no. Texas, God no. Arkansas, God no.
Georgia,
Georgia,
no.
Oh, that's down to 10.
Off the map right there.
So that's down to 10.
Then we got Vanderbilt, heck no. Who else? Ole Miss, possibly.
All right. Well, you're into the. Well, wait a minute. You just rattled off 5. So that gets us to 9. Hold on.
More hell knows. There's more hell knows.
You think? You're in the questionable area at 9. So Brent may win. Come on, Brent. I want you to win this. 8 or 9.
No, Brent. Give me a second. Brent.
Did you say Arkansas, Pat?
Standings.
Yeah, he threw Arkansas in there.
I said Arkansas. Heck no.
He threw. So Missouri, teams you haven't named. Auburn, of course not. A&M, Florida, Missouri. Teams who have Mississippi State, boys.
Yeah.
I'll stick with my 6, and I'll go with the top 6.
Yeah, Mississippi State.
Maybe not A&M, and I'd replace A&M with Missouri. I don't think Mississippi State. I think Mississippi State makes it out of the first weekend, but I don't think they make it to the Sweet 16.
Well, Mississippi State to make the Sweet 16,
loses their second game. Loses their second game. That's what I meant.
Yeah, Mississippi State to make it to the Sweet 16 would have to beat Duke in the second game, and I don't think that's going to happen. I would love that to happen, but I don't think it's close. It'll be close. It might be close. I'm going to say 5. I'm going to go with 6. What'd you go with, Pat?
I said 6.
I'll go with 6 with Pat.
5, I feel really confident, but I believe 6 of those Sweet 16 teams, and that's when we run into SEC versus SEC.
Cannibalism. And Brent, I'm going to put you on the spot. 8 or 9. You got to go with a number. 8 or 9.
I'll go with 8.
8? Ooh, that'd still be great. Half the Sweet 16 field. Oh, my God, that would be sweet.
But
you sound Damian Fishback would love you, Brent.
Yeah.
He always thinks that every team in the SEC is going to make it.
Well, that's not going to happen. But guys, here's my point to this. Look, you've been beating your chest the whole year.
Yeah.
As the best conference. When you get in the tournament, don't you have to prove it? And look, tell me I'm wrong on this. If you play in the SEC in a full SEC season, who are you going to play in the first 2 rounds?
Yeah.
It's better than you've already played the whole conference season, right?
Well, your first statement, Brent, you said if you play it and you're supposed to be the best conference all year and you come out of that conference, don't you have to prove it? Well, you just spoke to what killed SEC football.
Yeah.
Talk, and they didn't even get anybody to the championship game, did they? They didn't quite prove it.
Yeah.
Didn't quite prove it. All right, guys, we're going to let you guys get out of here, I think. We got Dr. Bates coming up. I'd love for any of you guys to stay, but I understand we've got an hour in. Real quick, while I keep you guys here, Pat, I sent you a text, but we've got a lot of shows on the road. Where, of course, tomorrow at Sliders, I'll be on the patio watching a lot of ball, 4 to 6. Friday, we're at a brand new location, Brew and Barrel. It's at the beautiful place, by the way. Brew and Barrel Tavern. It's at the intersection of Beach and San Pablo. We're gonna do the show Friday, 4 to 6. Gators play at 6:50, and then yeah, it's gonna roll perfect. And then the following Tuesday, it looks like we're broadcasting our show live from that bar at the arena. And that's actually the name, that bar at the arena across from the baseball grounds. We'll be there 4 to 6 and walk over to the Florida State baseball game on Tuesday. How cool is that? Good week. Good week coming up. All right, fellas, I'll let...
I cannot wait for that baseball game.
Me either. Cannot wait for baseball. Let's take a break. We thank everybody for joining us this first hour. We'll come back, going to talk to Dr. Bates. I've got an injured arm. My injury is going to be the topic today, guys.
Oh, Terry. Well, I mean, when you turn 60. This is what happens, my guy.
I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. Get these guys out of here. 1 hour down, 1 to go. Coming back with Dr. Bates, our sports medicine discussion, sponsored, of course, by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. BREW Jags Beach features all that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at BREW Jags Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at BREW Jags Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dynamic Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jax to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jax in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jax 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry. We still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jax 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave. So Feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer.
You can schedule a test drive at nimnickbuickgmc.com. And while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at nimnickbuickgmc.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
Time to kick off our sports medicine segment. We do it about this time every single Wednesday. A lot of fun, really enjoy it. I know Patrick and Brent had to both go, but I speak for Patrick especially. I know he enjoys this segment as well. Time to welcome our resident expert, Dr. Aaron Bates, joins us here, leading orthopedic surgeon for Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. You can find out everything they do, where they're at, and if you need to get seen immediately, find out the locations, se-ortho.com. Dr. Bates, I've got an injury myself we got to talk about. I need you to help me a little bit. I did something stupid, I think. Before we do that, your feel for March Madness. Do you have a feel? Are you a bracket guy that feels out, got a feel for a Final Four, a winner? What are your thoughts? We're a couple days from the real tip-off of March Madness.
Yeah, I feel like multiple brackets, actually. I'm a multiple bracket guy. And they're never all the same. So,
of course,
kind of hope for the best. With all the SEC teams in the tournament, I mean, I got to say, they'd be upset as an SEC group
I agree.
Altogether if they didn't have at least two in the Final Four.
Yeah, and I think they almost got to. I think one of these SEC teams almost has to win the tournament to back up. And it's not just SEC people or Southern people. The national narrative about the last month is, God dang, this might be the best individual conference season in the history of college basketball. Right. I think to claim that, though, to finally claim that, you got one of these great teams, Auburn, Florida, Tennessee, Alabama. Somebody's got to win it all, don't you think, to claim that title?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right now, one of my brackets, I think I have Florida and Alabama, and I'm not finished filling it out. But, I got Florida on one side, Alabama on another.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, you could easily make that argument. Who got it? Who won Townsend's conference? Who knocked out Townsend? Who's in?
UNC Wilmington.
Wilmington got in. Okay,
Yeah.
got in.
They have the first.
Yeah, I can find that. Or Ben, could you look that up real quick? If I can't, real quick. I was hoping your team would get in. That would be a lot of fun if Townsend got in. And they've made the tournament before, right, Townsend?
They have back in '91 and '92.
Okay.
But not since then. And Maryland is on a crash course
with Florida. With Florida, yeah, they're on that side. And Maryland's a 4 seed now. I mean,
yeah.
a 4 seed means you're a solid, top 15, top 16 team in the country. Right. Ben, did you find that?
Who they're playing? Texas Tech.
Texas Tech is who?
They're the 14 seed, and Texas Tech is 3 seed.
And wow, so UNC, that tells you that conference they came out of is pretty good. They're not a playing game; they're a damn game. They're an at-large. Win the tournament and get in. It's a tough draw though. Texas Tech is pretty tough. They are. Can't wait for the playing games don't do a whole lot for me last night and tonight. I'm ready for Thursday. I think this is, and Doc, I'll get your opinion. I think March Madness is the best American sporting event that we have. I think it's the creme de la creme of events in our country.
I agree. When you have all these mid-majors that get teams in and you get these sets that nobody really expected, but everybody loves them.
Yeah.
And those that have the concept that, the blue bloods and the Power Five, they should be the only ones in the tournament. But
yeah,
this wouldn't be as exciting as we didn't have all these other teams and upset. Yeah, St. Peter's that 1 year, UMBC beating UVA.
Yeah.
61. That's what intrigues everyone.
Yeah, it is a fun tournament. It's easy, almost like when you go to a Super Bowl party and somebody has the squares game. That's right. Easy. You give your 5 or 10. Anybody can do it. Well, anybody can hit the click buttons to and everybody fills out a bracket, and it's fun. I'm not in corporate America anymore, but I can remember in the hallways and at the water cooler, the men, the women, everybody in between. Every corporation in America is talking March Madness. Nobody's doing any work.
Right.
But
There's a lot of group texting going around.
yes, there is. Doc, unfortunately, I hate to be selfish. I've injured to some degree my left biceps. And I think it was, you probably hear this a lot. I did it myself by being a little bit lazy. I was working 2 days ago. Was it Sunday? Yeah, Sunday, whatever day we're at. So Sunday, I was working down at the arena. I do some logistics work, so we occasionally have to move stuff around. And so we were moving some tables onto a table cart, 8-foot tables, and they're pretty heavy. An 8-foot table, fold-up table is, I don't know, 25, 30 pounds. And Doc, I've picked these tables up a million times. So as I'm sitting here, let's say the table's over here, and I wanted to grab it and put it on a table cart to, multiple tables. I'm sorry, just giving you a backstory. It was my fault. Lazily, instead of doing this and picking it up like you should with 2 arms, 2 hands, right? And I've done a million of these, Doc. I kind of just reached with 1 arm. And I go to pick it up, and man, my bicep bit me. It bit me. And Doc, I'm sorry, I've got a long sleeve shirt. Where the elbow bend, I don't know what to call all this, but the bend, it's sore this part of the bicep by the bend and actually down the forearm. And man, I immediately said, oh my God, did I tear it? I don't want to tear it. How would I be able to tell? And I've been doing some ice, but man, it only hurts really when I do this type. Pushing's okay, but it hurts there
so did you have
and
any
here.
Bruising, or does it look deformed? Does the one
No.
look different than the other?
No, there's no discoloration, no swelling, but it's still it's sore like a sprained ankle sore, kind of.
Yeah, you're pretty lucky because that's the way you tear your distal biceps tendon, and that's the one that needs surgery right away.
Oh man!
But you probably just strained. This is what it sounds like.
Can I, through treatment, and I'm going to ask you, and of course I've been online. It said rice. I think it's rest, ice. I don't have a compression thing, but I guess I could. I'll tell you another thing, man. You know how hard it is to ice your arm with nobody to help you put. I've got good ice packs and all, but you know what I mean? They tie around and but how do you
can just lay it on there?
And I've been doing that watching TV on yeah. So rest, ice. What does the compression do? If I get a sleeve or something, how does that help me?
It just helps with the swelling.
Okay.
So compression helps to compress the soft tissues, kind of help with the swelling, get the swelling down. You get the swelling down with the ice and the compression, then that helps with your discomfort and recovery.
If it was and I'm so happy you said I didn't. I was so scared. I can't have a torn bicep. I'm still too active. If it was a torn, is that what you called it, a torn bicep?
Torn distal biceps, meaning distal further away from your body. So the distal attachment, that's the attachment at the elbow/forearm.
Gotcha.
Rather than the proximal, which is closer to your heart, right? Body and shoulder. So the proximal bicep, you get spontaneous tears of the long head of the proximal bicep tendon. Invariably, doesn't really need any surgery. It kind of starts in because you have another short head that's attached in a different spot. But distally, they're both attached to the same area. If you tear them off, then you always have weakness.
If I had torn my bicep, would I have known it? I walked out, I left work, told my boss, said, hey, I don't know if I need paperwork, but I just want to make you aware. Would I have known it? Is there a pain threshold thing, or because I was
people know, but there are some that didn't really know. But typically, if you just look down and one looks different than the other, then you kind of know that you tore it.
Well, both of my biceps are big and strong, so it's hard to. It's really. Have you ever seen a picture of Popeye? This guy named Popeye.
Right.
Let me ask you this, being serious, getting back again, man, because this spooked me a little bit, and I went to the gym this morning, couldn't do a curl. Pushing was no problem. I do a sitting bench press. I don't really get on but pushing was fine. I even did push-ups. It's this motion. Where I was going to go, if I treat it, can I get back to 100%, or am I never going to get back to 100%? Is it always going to be weak or no?
No, if this is not a tear, not
Yeah.
even like a partial tear or anything, and just a strain of the tendon or the musculotendinous junction, yeah, you get full recovery. But
Okay.
if you have like, let's say it's a partial tear, you can have partial tears too that just nagging and never get better, and then you end up needing surgery later on.
In the RICE acronym, if that's what I'm looking for, nothing says heat. Is heat not what needed? Do I not need to use my heating pad also?
Not
Or?
initially, I would not.
Okay. Okay. I got to believe, and again, I was forthright, man. When I did it, I went, Terry, you idiot. All I had to, I was lazy. We were moving tables and, had such stuff to do. Do you hear that a lot? Your patients, if they're honest with you, do they get injured like I did? It was on me. All I had to do was turn and use two arms. Right? But I've already thrown 4 of them on there. Let me get this one. And man, it bit me, Doc. I was like, oh, that hurt.
As a people, we tend to take shortcuts a lot, and sometimes that bites us in the butt.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened with me. Doc, one more. I don't know if we've talked much about, and this made the news. I think it was Paul George is out for the year. I can't remember if we've talked about it. If we have, what is abductor? Where is it? What is it? I can't remember if we've talked about it. He's out for the year with a abductor issue.
Yeah, we touched on it last week when we were talking about LeBron. It's the
Okay.
same injury, but you're calling it different than what it is. You said abductor, so ABD, abductor. This is adductor.
Oh, so there's two. So there's two different.
Yeah. So the adductor is the one that adds to your body, right? So your leg is coming in. That's what it pulls your leg in. Adductor, abductor, that's where it pushes the leg away.
Interesting.
And so it's basically a groin strain, a chronic groin strain. And he received some, it's either PRP or stem cell injection, stuff like that. And because it just couldn't get.
I had no idea that the one letter. Number one, I probably have read that a million times in my life and never noticed ABAD. But two total. Wow, I thought it was just one.
No, totally different.
All right, Doc. We'll visit again next Wednesday. Now, to hammer home what a tough guy. You could probably tell since we've known each other about 3 years. I'm kind of a tough guy, right? You could tell.
Perfect. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Next Wednesday, it looks like we'll do our segment. We'll come on the air at 4. We'll do our segment next Wednesday at 5. I will be fresh off of a colonoscopy, Doc. That's how tough I am. They say go ahead and lay out the whole day. The procedure's at 9. Doc, I'm a little too tough to take the day off, right? Is that impressive? That's pretty impressive, isn't it?
Pretty impressive, impressive like soft tissue paper.
So, but last thing, this is doctor speak, and so yesterday I go to my, what do you call it, like a they just wanted me to come in.
Pre-op.
Yeah, pre-op and tell me what to do and what to buy, and the night before, you know what I mean? You got to blah, 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 blah.
The bowel prep and all that.
Yeah. So I'm talking to the doc that's going to do the procedure, and of course he comes out with his pad, or actually he was putting things in his computer, but so he gets asked blah, 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 ask me this, ask me that, and well, do you drink alcohol? Why do they care if I drink alcohol, Doc? I mean, what does it matter?
Well, they got to give you some medication, some drugs, some anesthetic drugs to kind of put you in twilight, because that's what you do when you have your colonoscopy.
Yeah.
Different than regular general anesthesia where you're totally asleep.
Yeah.
You got to know, or at least predict how much they need to use. So folks that kind of drink more than others kind of need a little bit more to get you to that state.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't think I've said this to you, but he was kind of disgusted after I answered 2 questions. He says, and tell me, am I in the bad here and the wrong? He says, well, and he's got his computer. Well, Mr. Norvelle, do you drink? And I said, yes. And he said, and this is key. He says, Dr. Bates, he says, do you drink every day? And I said, and this is where he got a little mad, I think. I said, well, you know, I try. I miss a few days here and there, but I try, you know, and if I'll try and do better. He didn't like that answer when I said, well, I try to drink every day, but I don't, you know, I'm not perfect, Doc. I'm not perfect.
You think trying to be a winner, but it's probably his personality more than anything else.
You think that's what got him mad? Because he kind of gave me that frown and that kind, and then he looked at me and he typed some other stuff, you know. So was that the wrong answer, Doc? I try.
You know, that's good for me if I was interviewing.
I know this is not your specialty, but being serious for a split second, if we can get one guy to go, you know what? I've heard colonoscopy, and it must be serious. It's really important. It really is. This will be my second one. I was tardy. I think you're supposed to get them around 40. I got my first one around 50, and then they gave me.
It depends if you have a family history.
Okay.
Start earlier.
Okay.
But typically it's around 50.
Yes, I got my first one around 50, and it was all clean. He said the doctor did it. Said you're good for 10 years, and I'm 60 now. But it really is serious, right? You go in. I've had one of them. It's not a big deal. You know nothing. You're in La La Land. It wasn't. I woke up and my ride was there, and off I went. It was very easy.
It's very important to do, particularly because it can be a preventable issue. Colon cancer can be preventable if you catch it early, and so that's one of the things. Detection. And what I've heard from most folks is you get good sleep.
Oh my God, Doc! I swear, it's funny you said that. I've never had surgery. Knock on wood. I've never been out except for the colonoscopy I got when I was 50, and it was unbelievable. And they were telling me they were using the same thing that the doctor for Michael Jackson used, propofol.
Mm-hmm.
Propofol. Doc, I've never had blackout sleep like that. It was total blackout. And what I remember about that, my entire life, I can account for being out of it. I know when I sleep, right? The only time I've been out is when I'm asleep. That's the only time in my life that I couldn't account for. I was talking and talking and talking, and the next thing I'm in the recovery room, and I have no idea about that 45 minutes. It was unbelievable.
You were probably still talking a little bit, just don't remember it.
No, I wouldn't do that. And Doc, I know this. We'll let you go, and I know we're. I'm going to say this anyway. It's kind of funny. That's the only time it was okay, and they told you before they let you go, in public, they told you to pass gas.
Yeah.
The
valve started back.
Yeah, and I guess they shoot air in to open you up, kind of to look around. But they were telling me, I'm like, what do you mean? There's people around. They tell you to pass gas.
That's the thing. Everybody does. Everybody has, flatus, and so.
No, I don't. I've never pooted in my life until that day.
That's right.
I'm kind of like a king.
Right. It's an indication that your valves are working.
Is that right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I could tell. There was a reason they said, hey, and the nurse was kind and kind of say, hey, don't hold process if you've got to poop,
Get that through there.
I tell you, Doc, this segment right here, I'll get Ben to cut this out for your video resume because this was classic right here. This was classic. Hey, good job, man. I hope you're right, man. I'm worried about my bicep, but when should I feel it? It's not as bad as when it happened 2 or 3 days ago. When can I tell that I'm doing something good? I'm on the right path. How many days down the road would I?
Probably about a week.
A good week? A good week. Okay, so I'll.
It's not gonna be all the way better, but you should start feeling better.
And I can play this up for sympathy for about another week, then, right? Yeah.
You can do it for a month if you want.
Okay, I like you said it. You said it. You're the doctor.
We all know you're tough as tissue paper, so kind of fits.
Damn, do you forget anything, Doc? God almighty, this guy's got a doctor memory, for God's sake. All right, get out of here. Enjoy your Wednesday. Let's do it again. I'll tough it out next Wednesday, Doc. Thank you so much.
All right, buddy. Good to see you.
That's our buddy, Dr. Aaron Bates. Remember, if you've got an orthopedic situation, I'm telling you, the days of going, when you get injured, Going to the emergency room and sitting for 6 hours is ridiculous. You are wasting valuable time. No appointment necessary. You can go to locations, se-ortho.com. You'll find the closest Southeast orthopedic specialist. No appointment necessary office. Get in. Go ahead and get way ahead of the curve. Time is very important. se-ortho.com. You can hook up with Dr. Bates or a close location to your proximity, and you'll be glad you did. You'll save a lot of time, and you'll be getting dealt with by the best in the business, Southeast orthopedic specialists. Come back. We've got some fun stuff, including a follow-up story to the not-so-dead soccer player that had a minute of silence, and he didn't even know it. How did that happen? We'll talk about it on the other side. The Young and Norvelle Show continues on Action Sports Jax.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. BREW Jax Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at BREW Jax Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at BREW Jax Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jax 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice 3-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jax app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jax 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device. You're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News Jax Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
All right, just a little bit of Jaguar news so far. Today, the Jaguars have signed another football player, an offensive lineman by the name of Fred Johnson. Gator Nation, Gator fan, you remember Fred Johnson played back late teens for the Gators. He's bounced around in the NFL, big offensive lineman. He's a backup. He's a depth position, if you ask me. Ben was kind enough to look up his kind of resume. What do we say? Signed into the NFL in 2019, kind of has bumped around with several teams. I think he's signed as an unrestricted free agent with like the Steelers, went to the Bengals. Was there one more before the Eagles?
Yeah, I think the Buccaneers.
The Buccaneers. So he's kind of a journeyman offensive lineman. Last couple of years, he played for the Eagles, and he won a Super Bowl. He won a Super Bowl ring. He has a Super Bowl ring. Played a little bit last year. I think he appeared in like 13 games. Started maybe 4, but this guy has been in the league since 2019, 2020, and started 14 games. So you got to believe former Gator Fred Johnson, now a member of the Jacksonville Jaguars offensive line. Ben, am I right? This is a depth piece probably, right? Fill in here, and maybe gets a start or two, but go in and play here and there, spell a few plays every game maybe, right?
Oh, yeah, he won't get too much playing time unless injury, obviously.
And if he does, look out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You guys have better backup pieces, I think, than this guy.
Yeah,
hopefully.
You would think. A little more Jaguar talk, just Terry talking, because everybody's talking draft and roster, things like that. I would, if I'm running the Jaguars, I would really shop around and see if I could trade back the number 5 pick. What I would do is I would try to trade back and find somebody that wants to jump up to 5. I got to find the right team that has what they think is an expendable, let me say that word again, an expendable offensive line starter. Not a backup, not a Fred Johnson. I would find a team if I can. And again, Ben, you can't always find, everybody says trade this guy, trade for that guy, sign this free agent. Well, you can't make teams and players sign, right? You got to find it. But I would trade back, find a starting offensive lineman that I would get in return, and swap picks. If you can't do that, if I'm the Jaguars, I might take a flyer and sit at number 5, and the guy I'm going to earmark, you might have this guy fall to 5 because of a fear of injury. I might take Abdul Carter, the rush end out of Penn State, and he's a rush end. That's what Abdul Carter will make it or not. He'll make a lot of money or not in the NFL because of his ability to put the quarterback on the ground. I would possibly right now, if I can't find a trade back partner, grab Abdul Carter if he's there. And Ben, he might be there. So, 2 months ago or so in the football season, I would say in late October, early November, there was talk Abdul Carter could be the 1 or 2 pick. Okay, he had a serious, pretty serious, he's had shoulder and leg, right? He's had 2 serious injuries. He missed one of the games in the playoffs. He was gimping around. So he's got 2 medical issues. That might drop him down. That might, if he dropped down, if I'm the Jaguars, I might grab him and say, wait a minute. I'm going to hope like hell, because the Jaguars have so many holes. You got to close your eyes and hope in some areas. You just got to go hope. Man, I hope. You grab Abdul Carter, you put him opposite on the edge with Hines Allen. I would move Trayvon Walker inside. Now, he's not a big, thick guy like you want, but I would say, and I've always thought Trayvon Walker from Georgia, I saw him play a ton at Georgia. I've always thought he's a hand on the ground. Remember the Jaguars signed him as that number 1 pick? When they signed, remember the first year, Ben? They had him stand up. They had him as a stand-up rusher. He's not a stand-up guy. He is a hand in the dirt. I would move Walker inside, and I know he would be undersized. I think he could use his athleticism and his quickness at 275. He wouldn't be a plug up the line of scrimmage guy. I think Trayvon Walker from inside could get across the line of scrimmage and go, Chris Jones plays inside, right? A lot of times, big Chris Jones with Kansas City. He's not a plug up the run guy. He's a go-get-the-quarterback guy from inside. Those guys are very valuable. That's maybe what I would do with the Jaguars. And I know there's a million different ways and ideas and theories. So we'll put that to bed right now. I want to get back to March Madness. And Ben, you're new to the show. You've got a couple months in now. You have heard me say about all sports, and you will always hear me say about all sports, it's hard to win a championship. I mean, and we're talking the big NFL, Major League Baseball, big-time college and basketball, football. A lot of teams want to win, and there are a lot of good teams. It's hard to win a championship. Let me give you an idea of how hard it is to win March Madness. And we all know the math. Ben, you're well aware. There's one team that will go 6-0. You have to go 6-0. I don't care if your seed says 1 or 16. To win March Madness, you got to go at least 6-0. The play-in games, I don't count, okay? I'm 64. It's just that math. The team you beat will go 5-1. The other two that make the Final Four, they'll be 4-1. You have to go 6-0 in college basketball to win March Madness. All right, Ben, let's do some math off of that.
Yep.
Here's how hard do you know how hard it is just in the regular season to win 6 games in a row?
Oh, yeah.
Think about it mathematically, Ben, and you strike me as a math guy. Are you a math guy?
Oh, yeah.
All right, get your abacus out. But seriously, right? You know what abacus is?
No.
An old adding machine, the
Oh.
abacus.
Yeah.
Look it up. Man, you learn a lot from this show. I tell you, Ben.
I don't even know how to spell
But
that.
seriously, think about it. In March Madness.
Oh, I know what that is. Sorry.
Yeah, you know what an
Yeah, I
abacus
do know
is.
what it is.
Adding machine. Old.
Yep.
You've got to win 6 games to win the national championship in basketball, March Madness. And you've got to win 6 games in the tournament, theoretically, with the best 64 teams starting out. Well, it goes from 64 to 32, and then it goes to 16, and then it goes to 8, 4, 2, 1. Okay, there's your 6, right? It's hard to do that. You know how hard it is to do that when you just, let's talk regular season, Ben, and let's talk some of the teams at the top. Florida is 30-4. Your best teams, Auburn, I think, has lost 4 now. I mean, these teams have lost 4 games. Do you know, if you looked at all these teams, Florida, we're not going to do it, but look up Alabama, Auburn, Florida, Tennessee, Duke. Duke's lost 3 games, right? They're 30-3, so they're close. They play in a terrible conference. Okay, look up the big 4 in the SEC. Those 4 I just named. Florida, Auburn, Alabama, Tennessee. Highly ranked all year. If you took their regular season schedule and stopped before the SEC tournament, regular season, there aren't that many chunks of games that those teams won 6 in a row. Maybe there might have been an 8 or 9 in a row here, and to put math on it, think about it. Let's say you open up the regular season and you win 6 games straight, and then you lose 1. You're 6-1. If you win 6 more games in a row and lose 1, you're 12-2. If you win 6 more games in a row, you're 18-3. It's hard to get to 18-3. If you then win 6 more games in a row and lose 1, you would be 24-4. Ben, it's hard as hell to get to 24-4 winning 6 in a row in the regular season.
Yeah, especially with the start of the season. The start of the season, you're not playing the people who are going to be in the tournament. You're playing against, like, North Florida.
Yeah.
When you're the Gators.
It is. I mean, hell, let's do an experiment, and I don't know how this is going to turn out. Ben, if you don't mind, maybe you could, let me see if I can pull this up real quick. We're just kind of, we're producing on the fly. Let me just, for the heck of it, okay, Florida is one of the best teams, if not maybe the best team in the country.
Yep.
Okay, and early season, you're playing some lesser opponents,
Yep.
so that's a little, this throws it a little bit. So let's get to conference play, okay? Let's get to conference play. This will make it fun and fair, I think. Okay, Florida, the Gators. They're sitting 30-4. Okay? They opened up SEC conference play Saturday, January 4th at Kentucky. They lost the game. They lost that game.
Yep.
That's not 6 in a row. Okay, so Florida then wins 2 in a row. They beat Tennessee and they beat Arkansas. They lost their next game. They lost to Missouri. That's not 6 in a row. Florida then, after the Missouri loss, won 1, 2, 3, and lost to Tennessee. That's not 6 in a row. After Florida lost to Tennessee, they beat, in order, Vanderbilt, Auburn, Mississippi State, South Carolina, Oklahoma, LSU. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They won 6 in a row, which you have to do in March Madness. But keep in mind, LSU's not a very good team. South Carolina's not a very good team. Oklahoma's barely made it in. So in conference play, that's the first time they won 6 in a row, and they had some gimmies thrown in there. Okay, stay with me. So then after they won those 6, Florida lost at Georgia. Now, they did then start playing their best ball of the year. They won 1, 2, 3. Well, they won 3 more games, A&M, Alabama, Ole Miss, in the regular season, and then they won 3 in the tournament. So they're on a 6-game. Florida, in their conference season, won 6 games in a row twice, and that was littered with teams that didn't even make the tournament. Does that tell you how, if it's hard to win 6 in a row in the regular season, how damn hard is it to win 6 in a row? Theoretically, each opponent gets better, too. Did I confuse everybody, or did I do a decent job of explaining that?
No, that made sense.
Right? It's a, theoretically, March Madness, every round, the opponent is supposed to get better, and I get upsets.
Yep.
But theoretically, it's supposed, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to win 6 games in a row. I just gave you proof positive. Florida barely did it. And by the way, Florida never won more than 6 in conference play in a row. But there are some LSUs sprinkled in. And there are some South Carolinas sprinkled in. And even Oklahoma, they're in the tournament, but they're not real good. Well, theoretically, particularly after that first game, you're not facing many gimmies, right? Hard. It's damn hard to win this tournament, man.
Yeah, Auburn did it twice. Alabama did it once in conference play, and Tennessee didn't do it at all.
Yeah, to win 6 in a row.
Yeah.
How about that? And I think that's fair because, Florida did open up 13-0, okay? I think it was.
Yeah.
But, South Florida here in JU, Grambling, FSU's terrible, Florida A&M, Southern Illinois. So they opened up 13-0.
Yeah.
6 of them were
UNF, Stetson.
Yeah. Wichita State.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Arizona State's not very good. North UNF is in there. Stetson, as you said. So people say, well, Terry, they open up 13-0. That's better than 6. Okay, but 7 or 8 of those games were me, you, and 3 guys would probably win.
Yeah, they're not even in the NIT tournament.
Yeah, I hope that gives you an idea, folks, and you probably already know it. It's hard to win a national championship in basketball. It is in any sport. It's hard to win championships. Basketball, it's one and done. It is one. Football postseason also is one and done. I get that. Like baseball. Baseball, you have series. Baseball playoffs, there are series. It's very rare. I'll just think college baseball. Regionals, super regionals, regional double elimination. Super regional, 2 out of 3. And then once you get to Omaha, 8 teams make it Omaha, 2 losses. It takes 2 losses. This thing, just like football, you can't have a bad day at the office.
Yeah.
You have a bad day at the office, you're heading home.
Yeah, because if there was, obviously impossible, say if there was like best of 3 or whatever, you're not going to have a 16 seed upset a 1 seed because
2 out of
Yeah, because you're not going to win 2 games out of
2
3.
2 out of 3. Well said. It is hard. It is really, really hard. Let's keep it here for a few more minutes before we get out of here. Let me see if I can get our timer up here, Ben. Man, I'm producing on the fly. You like it? But Ben, we're going to get you back on the air. Remember the soccer story from yesterday, right? What was the deal? Bulgaria. 2 of the leading teams in Bulgaria were playing an upper-level soccer game. and the two teams got together before they started the game over in Bulgaria. And again, this is high level now. This is not just some club team. These are really good teams in Bulgaria playing soccer. Two teams get together, so obviously the home team has been communicated to the visitor, hey, listen, we're going to meet at midfield in a circle, bow our heads, and have a moment, 1 minute of silence for player XYZ. And this guy was a good player. We lost him. He passed away. So they all show up right for the game, packed house. They take a moment of silence, 1 minute of silence. Both teams bow their head, paying tribute to this fallen former player who's not that old. This guy, by the way, doing some research today, he's retired. He wasn't on the team, and they said he died. He was a retired guy, but it sounded like he's not many years past his playing time. Right? You with me, Ben?
Yep.
So they bow their head, they do that, and the kicker is the guy's not dead. The guy's not dead. So after they take the minute of silence, the internet starts going, and people are watching the game. So the player in question, the not-so-deceased player, his plan, he was doing a personal errand job, he said. And he's riding home. He's about 10 minutes late, so the game had already started. And he's in his car trying to get home to his wife to watch the game. He said, as he's pulling in his driveway, his phone starts blowing up like it has never blown up before. Because they just announced this guy, and his name's too hard to pronounce.
Yeah, I know.
He's deceased. They took a full minute of silence. He pulls into his driveway. He's getting bombarded by calls. Well, the friends, the family, the kids, I think, the wife. They're calling him. He pulls it to the driveway. Wifey comes out, and she's stunned. They just said you were dead.
I just saw a ghost.
And about 10 minutes into the game, the team, obviously, he contacts some of the team. They post on Facebook, hey, our bad. He wasn't dead.
I don't get how you get that news that he did. Who gave you that? Did someone
And how did the news come out? Obviously, the club got the news, the erroneous news, by the way, the incorrect news that this player died, but they had that information long enough to plan the pregame ceremony. I mean, you've got to contact the other team, and you know how sporting events work. There's a rundown. All sporting events have a rundown. Major sporting events, you have a rundown from like 2 hours before kickoff. I don't care if this is Jaguar game. I've been to a million of them. I don't care if this is Gator game, Seminole game, football, baseball, everything's mapped out, right? You get a game rundown. 2 hours before kickoff, visiting team has this side of the field. 1:45, referees come walk the field, right? Everything's mapped out. So somewhere in that game rundown, the home team had to write in there, okay, and at the 8-minute mark before kickoff, both teams will meet at midfield for a 1 minute silence, right? Everything's mapped out. They didn't just decide this and say, hey, by the way, when I wave at you, bring your team over, we're going to huddle up and do it. No. How did it not leak out, and how did somebody not go, well, wait a minute, I just saw Bob yesterday. I think he's alive. Right?
Yeah. I don't get how you make that mistake.
And he said he was running late, but he was on his way home to watch the game. His former team. So wouldn't that lead you to believe that he's probably in contact with a few of his ex-teammates and some of the people on the team?
Oh, yeah.
Current.
100%.
So nobody within the few days of putting this together went, well, wait a minute. Who are we having a moment of silence for because they're deceased? No. Bob, I just talked about. I had lunch with Bob yesterday. I don't know. How does it happen? How does anything happen?
I don't know. It just says they received wrong information. I feel like you would check. You would check.
But and is that statement big enough for the wrong information? Is like, well, the delivery was going to be PM, not AM, right? You got to call it something else. Ben, one other topic I wanted to get to, one other story, and you're like, God, I know it's a college kid here, but how is this guy this oblivious? And I didn't make you look it up. I forgot, actually. Michigan baseball. Did you hear this? And you might can find a still of it. Look up Michigan baseball snorting cocaine off of third base. How does this kid? So this Michigan baseball player, University of Michigan Wolverines, they're good this year. He's a good player. This guy's hitting 450 or whatever. Guy hits a bases clearing triple for the Wolverines. Slides into third base, right? Head first. And his celebration, a lot of times they stand up and, I did something good, pump their fist. This guy mimics snorting a line off of the third base bag. And, of course, obviously, Michigan, they make him retract and have I'm sorry. Ben, how could this kid think mimicking snorting a line of Coke off third base? He does the whole hold one nostril. And I don't know if you've seen it.
I got a still of it. I'm trying to.
Yes, how does this kid think? So, wouldn't you think he's premeditatedly thought of this, right?
Yeah. How do you think that's a good celebration?
Yes. See if you can put it in there so people know. I'm like, what? And this guy's a good player. Not that it matters. Good player.
Yeah, even if it was a bad player.
Yeah, he clears the bases with a triple, slides in head first, and I got an idea. Let me fake like I'm snorting. Now, what is that saying, though? What is his message? Man, this Coke really helps me hit. I'm a Cokehead. I mean, what does that say? By the way, while you're looking that up, and I don't want to, I know you're busy. I don't know if you can talk in. And I'm still having trouble warming up to the second first base bag that they have in college. Have you seen that yet?
No, I have not.
They claim it's a safety rule, but in college baseball this year, I think it's the Power 4 schools, conferences, you've got first base, the bag, where it's always at, right? It's in its proper place. This year in college baseball, there's a second first base bag. It's a different color, and it's put in the foul territory side of the original first base bag for safety reasons. They want the runner to step on that bag and not collide with the first baseman. I think it's nuts, but I'm a traditionalist. All right, Ben, we got 3 minutes. Any luck? Trying to put it in?
Yeah. I have it. It's just bugging out.
Oh, boy. Don't you hate when it bugs out? Hey, while Ben's looking for that, let me set up the rest of the week and next week. We're kind of all over the place. We're going to have a lot of fun. I hope you can join us or obviously keep watching no matter what. But let me set the rest of the week. Tomorrow, you know where we're at. Sliders Oyster Bar down in Neptune Beach. 4 to 6 live show. I'll get down there about 3, watch some basketball, set up the show, and then probably hang around and watch some more ball. We'll be on the patio. They've got TVs inside and outside. If you're in Neptune Beach, if you play hooky, get out. Don't have to work. Come by. Watch some basketball with us. Sliders Oyster Bar down in Neptune Beach, our Thursday home. Now, Friday. Let me make sure I can give you the right address. Friday, we will be live broadcasting our show, the Young and Norvelle Show, live from Brew and Barrel. It is a relatively new place, about a year or so old. Brew and Barrel Tavern. Really, really beautiful. These people that put it together, Steven and his group, Jay, they put a lot of money into it. They know what they're doing. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous, large tavern, sports bar, restaurant. Brew and Barrel will be live Friday, 4 to 6. It is located at the intersection of Beach Boulevard and San Pablo. 14333. 14333 Beach Boulevard is the actual address. Brew and Barrel Tavern will be there Friday doing the show live 4 to 6. We'll wrap up the show, and guess what? The Gators tip off at 6:50. So if you're looking for a place to hang out the next 2 days and watch some ball, Sliders tomorrow, show live 4 to 6. Brew and Barrel Friday 4 to 6. Next week, Monday in studio, Tuesday. If you are a Gator or Seminole fan going to the Florida State baseball game next Tuesday at the baseball grounds, come by across the street from the grounds. You know it. If you've been at the arena down there, which is across from the baseball grounds, you know that bar at the arena. That's what they call it. We'll broadcast live from that bar at the arena right across the street, 4 to 6. Come have your warm-up drink, each pregame meal, and go watch some baseball. with myself, and Patrick should be, well, depending on his travel. I don't know what's his travel, he said. But I think he'll be back in time for baseball. So mark that down. Florida State baseball on next Tuesday. We're across the street. And here it is. Here's our guy. What in tarnation? He is mimicking snorting the white line on the baseball field after tripling in 3 runs. And there's the guy. So, Ben, in what universe does number 55 think that would be okay?
I don't know.
Isn't that nuts?
Yeah, I don't know what you could process in your mind.
And obviously, University of Michigan made him, they probably wrote the statement for him, but he say, man, I made bad judgment. It wasn't very smart. You think? Where outside of Tony Montana's mansion in Scarface, where would that be acceptable? That acting. Where would that be acceptable? Oh, you young people. All right, I'm about done. Fun show, Ben. Thank you so much. I know Wednesday's not your normal day. Zach had some stuff going on. I appreciate everything you do, Ben, for the show, and all of our other people, Brent Beard, of course, Patrick Young, and Dr. Aaron Bates from Southeast Orthopedic Specialist. I had fun. I hope you have fun or had fun with the show, and I hope you join us again tomorrow, 4 o'clock, 4 to 6, for the Thursday edition of the Young and Norvelle Show, broadcasting live from the patio at Sliders Oyster Bar. Have a great evening, everybody.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. BREW Jags Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at BREW Jags Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at BREW Jags Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jax to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jax in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jax 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jax 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer.
You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com. And while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1940.